Howdy folks, Mark Serbu, gun designer, gun nut. Well, it's my first week back from the SHOT Show, and we did that show for 20 years straight, and then all of a sudden COVID hit and screwed everything. So in 2021 they didn't even have the show, and then we got so busy and we lost our really good spot. So the following year I was like, what the hell, why are we taking a week off to do this when we have so many orders we can't even fill? So we stopped going, and it's been 5 years, and we didn't have a booth this time, but I was supporting Miller Precision Firearms at their booth because, of course, they're making the Avant-Garde upper, which is really cool and got a really good reception there, as well as his other stuff. His pistols are just out of this world. I mentioned it in my last video. So, on to the footage from the show.
Las Vegas. My home away from home for 1 week out of the year for many, many years. I can't imagine living there, but it sure is a fun place to visit. If you've never been, go. I mean, there's so many things to do, and there's so many spectacles that you just can't see anywhere else. And on my drive in from the airport, I saw the Sphere for the first time. Man, that thing's incredible. Like I said, if you haven't gone, go. And here's what the Sphere looks like in the daytime. And man, wouldn't you know it, I didn't make time to go visit it, but I guess I'll catch it next time. So this was my view for much of the show, but I didn't just hang out at the booth. I did manage to get out and look at other stuff. And the first thing on my list was this crazy Kel-Tec PR57 that I heard so much about. Man, this thing is cool. It's kind of weird. When I first saw it, I'm like, stripper clips, no magazine, what the hell? But then I realized if you just purely use it for carry, then, it's fine. Who's going to need more than 20 rounds of 5.7? So mag change, not a factor. I do hope they'll come out with a version that has a magazine as well, because if you're going to have it in your car, like I actually do have a 5.7 in my car. I've got the gun with a 20-round loaded mag, and then I've got another 20-round loaded mag, so that's nice. So what do you think about this thing? Please let me know in the comments, because I talked to a lot of different people and got a lot of different opinions, but I think it's an awesome carry gun. Super light, 20 rounds of ammo, and plenty of power. I mean, hard to beat it. My next stop was the Palmetto State Armory booth, because of course I had to see a 50 cal semi-automatic rifle that would sell for $2,000. Yeah. Now, to be fair, that was internet talk, so God only knows what the real price is. I didn't find anybody to talk to about it, but as you can see here, it's a concept gun, so whoever threw out $2,000 is nuts. If they're lucky, it would cost that to make it, because they're a freaking behemoth, and they can make just about anything happen. But a semi-automatic 50 in general, and for a really, really low price in particular, good luck. That's a tough one. So what do you think? Palmetto State Armory, super low price 50 BMG rifle? Would you buy one? And do you think it's going to happen? Let me know in the comments. I stopped by the Fight Light booth, but my buddy Jeff Herring was too busy to even talk to me. So I just took this picture and sent it to him. The SHOT Show. You just never know what you're going to see there. So I made my way to another hall, and man, it's hard to find your way around there. It's just insanely huge. Now here's a gun that I like for probably all the wrong reasons, at least from the designer standpoint. Now, first and foremost, what we have here is basically an AR-10 that costs $6,500. Right there, that's kind of a deal breaker for pretty much everyone. And actually, I just went on the Olympus Arms website, and it's more like $6,800 and up. They say it has less recoil and it's accurate, but does it do a better job than a standard AR-10? Does it do it well enough to justify paying 3 times as much? For most people, no. There's a niche market for sure. But it's going to be among really well-off guys who like to collect unusual guns, and that's great. I mean, you could always use another gun, right? All that being said, I love this thing. I mean, look at that mechanism. That is just cool. I like cool machines, and I've designed a lot of guns that will never see the light of day just because they're super interesting and cool mechanically, but they don't really raise the bar as far as what the gun needs to do. But big hats off to these guys for doing something different. And it's funny because you walk around the SHOT Show and everybody says, oh man, everything's just an AR-15, and this looks like an AR as well, but it's completely different. So yeah, I wish them all the best and hope they kick ass. And if you got tons of money, pick one up. As it turns out, I was an unwitting participant in the VSS Vintorez drama that Gun Jesus showcased in a recent video. And in that video, everything Ian said was right on the money. You can't argue with any of it. But that being said, I still feel bad for these guys. I mean, holy crap. But there are a couple things in play here. First, Ian's been screwed over and lost a lot of money on a gun pre-order in the past. Then he sees all this positive press being generated on this gun and for these guys who are making the gun without knowing the details like he knows them. So he's basically doing a public service, which is why he's awesome, and we're lucky to have him. My only involvement with all of this is that I want to take a crack at making that top cover. Man, if that's not the sexiest top cover ever designed, I don't know what is. Now, I've got some really good advice for any company that's thinking about doing a Gun Jesus interview about a gun they're trying to bring to market.
Now be warned, he's mercurial. 1 minute your best friend, the next you're a leper. And he needs direct answers. Anything tentative and you've lost him forever.
And last bit of advice, if someone of Ian's stature does a video like he did it for a good reason, and he's a pretty serious guy. So you don't go on social media and crap all over him and call him two-faced and all that. At best, you just lick your wounds and go away if you were a scoundrel to begin with. If you're doing this for real and it's a real project, then take that as incentive to kick ass and make it happen. Just to be able to throw it in his face and make millions of dollars along the way. But God, the stuff they did on social media, not a good idea. But enough of all that drama. I am going to make that top cover. That's all I care about. Anybody got a CAD model? Let me know in the comments. Man, it's going to be an interesting video. That top cover, that's going to be my catcher in the rye. It's just so cool and so, I don't know, just complex and intricate and sexy. Yeah, I said it. Man, that die is going to be something. Now, if you want to know where I saw some of the coolest and most innovative guns at the entire show, it's kind of hard to believe, but it was the 3D printer gun guys. On the other hand, I guess it's not that hard to believe. I mean, a 3D printed minigun? Holy crap. And I asked the guy who designed it, did you get hold of drawings for the M134 or what? And he said, no, I just looked at disassembly videos, the animated ones that they got on YouTube. I'm like, wow. And he doesn't even use CAD. He uses Maya, which is a freaking animation program. That's just beyond me. As you probably recognize, this uses AR-15 bolt heads and barrel extensions, which means, yeah, it's a 223 instead of 308 or 556 instead of 762. But that's fine. Plenty of firepower here for your average Joe. And speaking of that, I'm sure there are people out there in the world who are freaking out about the idea of somebody in their 20s at home coming up with something like this with no real machine tools and just talent and dedication and the ability to learn from YouTube videos. And by no means was this the only cool thing over there. Several of these guys got together and chipped in and got a booth, which is a great idea because the SHOT Show is crazy expensive. Now check this out. Is this a badass setup for an SKS or what? That's in the original caliber, but he also did a version in 50 Beowulf. That's got to be amazing. Not 3D printed, but still super cool, is this Japanese Nambu Type 100 submachine gun recreation, and it's semi-auto. TFB TV just did an entire video on it, so if you want to learn all the details, check it out. I don't know exactly what the deal is with this, but it was cool and the bolt was very interesting. I couldn't find the guy who made it, but hey, maybe he'll end up seeing this video and let us know in the comments. Something else that caught my eye is this straight pull AR bolt action. There's no reason for it yet, but I'm sure it'll be something mandatory in California within a few years. Still just a cool gun and some nice out-of-the-box thinking there. And what do we have here? It's just your average 3D printed run-of-the-mill 9mm belt fed. It's a little blocky for my taste, but man, it's got some cool features. Pretty much everything at this table was cool and innovative in some way. That's the beauty of 3D printing, is that you're creating the stuff in the computer and you make it the way you want it. Yeah, you could take inspiration from other designs or just come up with something completely on your own. Sky's the limit. I love this stuff. This is what I do, only I use big boy equipment. Hopefully you can figure out how to get a hold of these people if you saw something you were interested in. Or like I said, they may just answer questions in the comments. That'd be great. Well, I have rambled on long enough, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up.
Well, thanks for watching, folks. I appreciate you as always. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tell your friends, all that good stuff. Catch you next time.